So in this video I'm going to show you how to clean this VAX carpet washer dual power PET model. Now, fantastic little machine, but if you've used it a few times it can end up looking a bit like this. So let's get straight to it and I'll show you what to do. As you can see from this little clip here, the actual grime it isn't on the actual brushes, so it's not something you can get to easily. It looks like it's behind the brushes, which kind of makes sense because as it's sucking up all the dirty water, it's making a mess of the inside of the washer. In order to get to that, you can see the screws there. It looks like that some of that is going to have to come off to enable us to get in and give that a good clean. It's worth mentioning that in this video we're going to be focusing on this bottom section where the brush bars are. I'll be posting how to clean the tanks in a separate video. So in order to get to the area behind these brush bars to give it a clean, there are quite a few screws that need taking off. Initially it looked like there was maybe 3 or 4 screws holding it together. There's actually probably nearer 10 or 12 screws that need taking out because the section actually goes to the back of the vacuum cleaner as well. It's all kind of 1 or 2 complete units. So I'll pinpoint where those screws are that need to come out. So that is screw number 1. This one's screw number 2. This one's number 3. And then you've got 3 screws on the other side of the brush bars. This one's screw number 4. Screw number 5. And then, like I said earlier, I thought it was just a few of these screws that were holding it in place, but there are some more screws towards the back of the unit, which we'll have a look at now. So there's 2 more here. There's 1 at the back, 1 here and 1 here. There's also 1 here and it's recessed, so you'll need a longish screwdriver to get into that, and there's also 1 in the same position at the other side as well. And there's absolutely no reason why I'm using a cordless screwdriver now, apart from being lazy, that's all. So that's those 2 out. Just need to flip it over and get the other 2 out over at the other side. And then there's another 2, 1 at each side at the very back of the unit that need taken out. And then the last 2 are the recessed ones, 1 at each side, with the little arrows on in the picture here. And for that you'll need a long screwdriver. And then once all the screws have been taken out, it's just a case of popping this section forward. As it pops forward, it will come off in 2 parts. There's a left hand section, and then there's the right hand section which is covering the brush bars. You can actually see on this section where it's protected that little part from all the gunk that it's been cleaning up. Also notice that there's like a little spindle, and what that little wheel does is it holds or keeps in place the belt which is running the actual brush bars. So at this point it's worth taking a good look at that picture now and seeing how it's all put together, because you'll need everything to be in place in the correct manner when we're putting everything back together. So let's take the brush bars out. They're connected to like a bracket on the right hand side, but they are loose in there, they just kind of clip in, so that section will just lift out from underneath the belt. It's probably a good idea to take a note of the part numbers as well, because if you've had your machine quite a long time and you've used it quite often, then the bristles on that brush bar can wear down, so you may want to replace these at some point. So DC3 and DC4 are the brush bar replacement kind of item numbers, if you like. If you're just using this washer every now and again, which most people will be, you'll probably find that the brush bars are in decent condition like they are on this one. It might be a bit of a mess in there, but the brush bars are still in good nick. And then when that brush bar unit has been removed, you can actually see the kind of state of that area there. It's a right mess. And it's going to take some cleaning. Not quite sure what kind of carpet or what kind of floor this has been cleaning in the past, but it's had some heavy use. Again, it's worth looking at the condition of the belt, making sure that's all in good nick. Whilst we've got the unit open, it's worth replacing the belt if you think it's deteriorated or it's old, if it's torn or whatever. There's no part number. I can't see any part number on the belt, so you'd have to buy it from the model number of the actual machine itself. But this one's in decent condition, so that's absolutely fine. And then it's just a case of getting this thing cleaned up using little sponges, little brushes, whatever you can find to try and get this back to its former glory. So when I did start cleaning it out, I noticed the bar here at the bottom, and that was stopping me from getting underneath and getting some of the gunk, which you can see there now has become loose. So there was just a screw on either side, so I just undid the two screws. That little bar popped up. Now then I found out that is the little area where the hose, where the water comes down to clean. So I didn't move it too far, just enough to get my finger under or a brush under, just to clean underneath it. I didn't want to start dismantling it too much. So this is what the unit looks like after it's been cleaned. Now you might be thinking to yourself, that doesn't look clean. And although the area that you can see there, to the eye, it looks clean, what isn't clean is the kind of area where the water gets sucked up through the machine. So you've got two pieces of plastic that are sucking up the machine, if you like, and the last time the unit must have been used, after it's been used, it's just been switched off and left. What the person should have done was, after they cleaned the carpet, once they could see that there was that much dirt actually still in the machine, is maybe feed some water through it to kind of rinse the machine before they switched it off and put it away, because all that's happened is all that gunk has stayed in the machine and it's kind of solidified and it's stained, and as you can see there, it doesn't look very pretty. One top tip is, whenever you're going to clean a carpet with this machine, I really recommend that you kind of rinse the machine out. Either keep on cleaning the carpet after it's been cleaned, so it's pushing through clean water and it's kind of rinsing out the system. This has just been left and it's still in a bit of a state. So that all being said, now that it's as clean as it's going to be, we need to just start putting everything back together. So let's start with the bar just at the bottom, which we took off as we were cleaning it. And that's really simple, just a screw either side and that part is done. Then let's put the belt into roughly the right position. Just goes over the metal pin at the top, which is connected to the motor. This part is really important. So what you need to do is you need to line up the brush bars. If you have a look on the side of the brush bar, it has like a little slot and it's more like a rectangular kind of shape. And what happens is, when that is set a certain way, it will slide into the little recess, if you like, a little guide on the left hand side where it needs to go in. If that brush bar is not tilted around or rotated around enough, that then makes it not fit into that guide. So it's a lot easier if you rotate the brush bar now and you line everything up and then put them roughly where they need to be and then finally insert them in. I had major problemums with this, trying to spin brush bars around afterwards and this and that. Check the rotation of the brush bar, see if it will slide in, and then you should be good. And then when you've finished fiddling around with that, just make sure that the belt drives both brush bars, and then we're ready to put it all together. So once that's been confirmed that everything seems to be running okay, it's time to put the cover on. Let's get the first one on, which is the left hand side. So you want to be using the guide, the little wheel, to line up with the belt. And then it's just a case of screwing it all together. So this is what the unit looks like once it's been completed. Far from perfect, but I think it's got more to do with the state that it was left in when it was last used. Hopefully, next time it's used, or the next few times it's been used, some of that grime in the actual head, if you like, that will dissolve and hopefully clear up over time through multiple uses.